Good morning, everybody. A couple things I want to go over. First and foremost, when we're wiring up our solar system, not only is wire gauge important, but the type of wire. This is THHN, okay, standard wire, I guess you could say. Maybe there's about 20 strands in there. I hope you could see that. This is okay to use for AC, but you don't want to use it, I repeat, you don't want to use it on any of the DC connections. Why? Because there is not enough surface area on that wire and it's going to generate heat. If you don't believe me, read the manual for Victronics. It tells you the exact same thing. This is the kind of wire you want to use for the DC. Each one of these strands, each one of these bundles, I should say, has a whole bunch of small wires within it. This is what you use for your DC. If you have not done so, I suggest you take it out because you're going to have problems. Okay? Number two, get yourself a hydraulic crimping tool. I cannot stress this enough. When you put these crimps on, boy, they need to go on. If you think you're going to beat it with a hammer or get that little tool that you buy on that beautiful online website where you hit it with a hammer and it crimps it, maybe, but it's not going to come out as good as this. Really important. Okay? In addition, everything you see is fused. Okay, and it comes from the manufacturer fuse. Right in here, you have this bus bar type fuse. You also have another fuse down here. This has a reset button on it. I'm not sure if there's an internal fuse on here, but I suspect there is. But even so, this battery is very expensive. I have my on and off switch coming back to the fuses. So really, this is the BMS, comes out of the BMS, and it's going into our distribution block. Well, it's fused. It's fused into the main distribution. It's fused out of the distribution into the inverter. It's also fused into the controller. And it's also going to be fused coming into my Blue Sea distribution bar, which is also fused. Why so many fuses? Again, with the cost of this battery, with the cost of these components, 1,500 here, thousands here, so forth, do you really want to take a chance? No, fuse it. Let's talk about the quality of these products right here. Victron, you can't go wrong. I think there's other manufacturers out there, but it's so popular, there's so much information about it, I don't know why you would go in a different direction. Now, when it comes to the battery and the BMS, Lithionics, I'm going to tell you this fact. The only American-made, I repeat, only American-made battery. There are others that claim, no, the components are made in another country and they are assembled in the USA. This componentry, and it is assembled 100% in the USA. You say, what about Xantrax? Well, guess what? Lithionics private labels for Xantrax. Xantrax, excuse me. American-made. Does it make a difference? To me it does, because I believe this company's been around for quite some time. A lot of these other battery manufacturers, I think they're come and go. I just don't know if they're going to last. I'm not going to take a chance, okay? So back to these components, why such gigantic bus bars if you could see them? Well, because look at the rigidity of this wire, for goodness sakes. This is 3/4 of an inch. This stuff is, it's some serious stuff. So when you're putting this wire on there, yeah, this is pretty flexible, but there's a lot of torque on there. Are you really going to get some Cinzano bus bar when you go to put the screw in and the screw cracks? When you're driving down the road and this entire thing is going 65 miles an hour, it's a house on wheels, and it's going to have a little bit of vibration. Do you want to take a chance that one of these things is going to crack? No. Get yourself the good quality. You can't go wrong with Blue Sea. Obviously, Blue Sea from the marine industry. This is just a simple example, but this is fused. This is great. This is, this thing's probably $60. It's got a cover for it someplace. I don't know where it is, but there's going to be a cover that goes on here. And again, it's solid. The cover snaps on well. It's some thick plastic. It's not a cheaper product that you can get for $20. And I'll show you an example later of the shore power connection. There's a company called Marine Co. and it's a stainless steel. I'll show you one that's out of plastic and say, oh my goodness, one's $75 and one's $28. Big difference, okay? Probably one of the strongest things I did was get this piece of 3/4 inch on here. I know I talked about that earlier. However, this is a multi-ply. It's about 11 plies together. There are different kinds of plywood. There's voids in the lesser grade plywoods. Do you put a screw in there? Do you really want that screw to hit a void behind it and break out? I don't think so. It's not something I want to happen. So, you know, did it right. Obviously mounted on the frame really, really well using riv nuts behind. And everything in here is super duper duper tight. Still got more work to do on it. Still got to run my my neutral lines off of the different components, and that's about it. So keep following, and as always, God bless. Any questions, certainly feel free to ask. Thanks.